In the 21st century, on an alternate Earth, it's found that 4% of the populace have exceptional capacities. The public authority refers to them as powers. From the start, they're exceptionally well known in the labor force. All powers become poor and abused by the police. Before long, a criminal organization starts selling a medication called psych, produced using the spinal liquid of dealt powers. Accordingly, the police begin utilizing robots and exceptional robots called watchmen to find them. A man named Connor can manipulate electricity and do construction gigs while searching for something long-lasting. In the wake of finding a new line of work at a building site, the police drop by to check if any powers are being utilized. The laborers are arranged and examined by a robot to check whether they have abilities. The police advise the powers to leave if they have a permit. At the point when they find a warrant for one of the men, he shoots fire at them to get away. The robot drops a couple of watchmen who shoot him to death. Meanwhile, another police crew strikes a fueled man's loft. The man utilizes his super solidarity to toss a plate at it. He attempts to get away through the window, however. Official Park stops him at gunpoint. The police search the condo and find a room loaded up with fueled individuals being depleted of their spinal liquid and many sacks of psych, connecting the case to a wrongdoing master named Marcus. Afterward, Connor visits his mom, Mary, at the supermarket where she works. Mary has a cerebrum growth which once in a while causes her to fail to keep a grip on her temperature powers. She coincidentally obliterates a sauce jug, and her manager hollers at her. Connor guards her and nearly utilizes his power, making the manager kick them both out of the store. At home, Connor advises Mary to begin chemo. The following day, Connor sees a truck from Lincoln Power. His companion cautions him they're essential for Marcus's pack, yet Connor needs cash. At the point when the driver Garrett offers him work, Connor acknowledges. Connor is taken to a synthetic plant where Garrett requests that he incapacitate an electrified barrier. Connor attempts with a bolt shaper and gets an electric shock, so he utilizes his ability to overburden the wall. Maddie liquefies the lock with her fire, and the gathering gets inside. They begin stacking compound barrels onto the truck, however, are tracked down by a watchman. Garrett utilizes his supernatural ability to remove the watchman's radio, making him give up. Regardless of this, the police are ready, and each official on the lookout is told to search for a red van. Garrett stops the vehicle under an extension and eliminates the red sheet covering it, so presently it looks white. At the point when a police drone finds them, it excuses them in light of some unacceptable variety. They go to a carport, where Rhino takes them through a mysterious path into a club. Marcus is being reproved by Wesley for not paying him. Wesley advises Marcus to guess the thoughts of his partner Copperhead to see every one of the manners in which Copperhead knows how to kill somebody. Then Wesley allows Marcus 7 days to pay. Garrett acquaints Connor with Marcus, who guesses what Connor might be thinking and concurs he ought to join their group. While Naya shows Connor around, Marcus tells Garrett he can't pay for the synthetic compounds since he should pay Wesley first and get some information about Connor's powers. Garrett thinks Connor needs to seriously prepare, so Marcus requests that he prepare him for their next work. In the meantime, officials Park and Davis explore the burglary and understand the synthetics were taken to dilute Marcus's psych. They can see electric and fire powers were utilized in the entryway, so they'll need to look into a rundown of individuals with those capacities. The following day, Connor picks Garrett's work over a development work. Garrett requests that he short a vehicle's caution by hammering his clenched hand on it. Connor utilizes his ability to switch it off, and then Garrett declares now is the ideal time to prepare. They start with a straightforward activity. Connor should light a bulb. Since he needs control, Connor breaks it and should continue to rehearse until he takes care of business. As days pass, Connor is given tasks like gathering cash from the sellers utilizing his powers to fend them off or compel them to pay. He continues to rehearse in his leisure time and ultimately lights different bulbs without a moment's delay. At the point when a vendor attempts to shield himself with his own electrical protector, Connor takes the shock with no aggravation and rapidly destroys the person. Feeling certain, Connor visits his mother's chief and compromises him to treat Mary better. A while later, he returns home and lets Mary know that he at long last has a super durable work. Outside, Park and Davis watch Connor and remember him for the rundown of suspects. The following day, Connor and Garrett go to a bank to accumulate data about the daily practice and the surveillance cameras. Finishing up, they'll have 5 minutes to pull off the heist on the grounds that the police drones show up in 7. In the interim, Mary goes to work and is amazed by how pleasantly her supervisor is acting toward her. Afterward, Garrett's pack rages into the bank, taking out every one of the watchmen prior to keeping everybody prisoner at gunpoint. Connor hurries to the vault and cuts the power so the bank can't lock it from a distance. The alert goes off, and they request that a worker open the vault physically, just to find that the greater part of the cash is now gone. They take anything that remains and run outside, where the robots are as of now holding up for certain watchmen. Connor hits them with his powers, making them crash to the ground, permitting them to effectively get away. They go to see Marcus, who is upset to hear they couldn't get all the cash. As he and Garrett contend, Copperhead unexpectedly appears and attempts to shoot Marcus. However, Rhino obstructs the slugs with his hard body. So Connor incapacitates her with an electric shot. Copperhead assaults him with a blade and wounds his arm, so Rhino more than once takes shots at her until she's dead. Connor finds Nia consuming psych. She sees Connor was injured during the battle and mends it, making sense of she works for Marcus on the grounds that she owes him. Afterward, Connor returns home and Mary gets some information about the cash he concealed in his cabinet. She called the spot Connor said he was working at, yet they never knew about him. Connor attempts to make sense of he's picked wrongdoing for the well-being of she. However, Mary fails to keep a grip on her power and falls. She's taken to the emergency clinic, and the specialist lets Connor know that her cancer is squeezing her mind against the skull. When Connor leaves the medical clinic, Park and Davis take him to the station. Connor denies being engaged with any wrongdoings, so the police advise him that Marcus is a perilous lawbreaker and specify they'll be consuming $4,000 worth of psych soon. Park brings up they can assist Connor with Mary's treatment in the event that he shares data about Marcus, yet Davis hinders to incite Connor by offending his dad. Incensed, Connor demands they have some unacceptable individual, and the police need to let him go on the grounds that they need more proof. Garrett gets Connor and takes him to see Marcus, who guesses what Connor might be thinking to affirm he didn't tell the police anything. Connor makes reference to all the psych the police will be taking to the burning site, requesting an arrangement. He assists him with getting the psych, and Marcus will give up Nia to him. Afterward, the pack prepares their arrangement by putting barricades up. Before long, the heavily clad van appears, followed by Rambles, which should fly back when they arrive at the restricted airspace. The barricades make the van take an alternate street, so Maddie and Freddie follow it while Garrett drives a waste vehicle to obstruct it. As the driver hollers at him, Connor charges his power and shoots the van with power, thumping down the watchman. Garrett utilizes his supernatural power to hold the gatekeepers down so Connor can short their circuits. Freddie and Maddie go along with them and assist with impairing the watchman until there's no robot left standing. Maddie wears out the van, and Freddie drops poisonous gas inside to cause the police to get out. The van quits answering, so the robots choose to enter the restricted airspace. Maddie takes the psych cases and hands them to Rhino, whose men start shooting the watchman. Rhino shoots Maddie too before he and his pack go to shoot the others. Garrett needs to move Freddie with supernatural power to save him. Rhino leaves with the psych, passing on 2 men to kill Garrett's gathering. More gatekeepers show up, and the hoodlums need to shield themselves, permitting Garrett, Freddie, and Connor to take off. Typical slugs can't hurt the gatekeepers, who kill Rhino's folks right away. As the threesome runs, Freddie is hit by a wanderer slug and Garrett needs to convey him to the vehicle. Freddie doesn't make it, and keeping in mind that they escape, Connor faults Garrett for everything. Rhino takes the psych to Marcus, who says he can't allow Nia to leave since her dad actually owes him cash. Afterward, Connor visits his mother and commitments he'll seek her the treatment, yet Mary believes it's the ideal opportunity for him to give up. Connor meets with Park at a burger joint to request the arrangement. At the bar, Marcus begins coughing severely and requests that Nia recuperate him. Unexpectedly, the police shut the bars shut down and Tempest in to start shooting, so Marcus escapes with Nia and Rhino through the entry to the carport. Garrett is sitting tight for themselves and shoots Marcus in the chest. Rhino fires back, yet Garrett incapacitates him with his supernatural power prior to starting to shoot at him. Garrett's slugs don't do anything to Rhino's skin, so he turns to hitting him with a vehicle. Marcus isn't dead yet and attempts to go after Garrett, who kills him with a last shot to the head. Connor takes Nia outside where Park is holding up with a van, and together they leave. The following day, Park tells Connor his mother is in a medical procedure and will make do. Park extends to him an employment opportunity at the police headquarters, which Connor turns down since he needs to deal with his mother. Connor says thanks to Nia for mending his arm, and the pair begins another coexistence.